Nuneaton Town Centre. I know that as well.
Almost everywhere.
Anywhere But Westminster began 10 years ago, speaking to people on the street about politics and exploring the gap between politicians, the media and the rest of the country. Now the ruling party wants to use that same gap to have a People versus Parliament election. It's time for us to get back on the road.
Sorry to interrupt. We work for The Guardian, the news... All right.
We've got somewhere to be, apologies.
No bother. We all have. I think we've reached the end of this. I really do. Which way out of the mess the country's in?
Oh my days, I can't answer that.
This whole Vox Pop thing is... We don't know what we're asking people. If we ask them all the old questions, we know what all the old answers are, all right? And they haven't really got anything to say to us about anything because they don't know either. So why do you want that?
He says what it is.
What is it?
Well, he speaks the truth. Politicians, can't trust them, can you?
You know, we're on the coattails of Europe, abiding by their rules and tariffs, and once that's gone, I think the sky's the limit.
Very good. Right, we got to go, sir.
Okay, mate.
Lovely talking to you. Thank you.
We do not need many more interviews like that in our life.
No, we don't. But what do we need? It doesn't work. Maybe it picks up interference. I want his voice booming out across this Middle English high street, you know what I mean?
I give notice that Boris Johnson is elected as the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party.
Got a new Prime Minister.
Tomorrow, they are on their feet.
And I say to all the doubters, dude, we are going to energise the country. We're going to get Brexit done on October the 31st. We're going to take advantage of all the opportunities that it will bring in a new spirit of can-do.
Try these two fellas here.
He says the thing about Britain is we've got to have more belief in ourselves, positive thinking.
Yeah.
Got to seize the day.
I've been here 5 years and I've had nothing but problem.
Why did you come in?
Because I got transferred, housing situation. I ain't getting no luck with jobs.
You out of work at the moment?
I am, yeah. I'm on universal credit.
Are you?
Benefit mashed it up for me. You know, sanctioned me from when they sanctioned you. You know, you get into debt. I'm homeless, even though I don't look it. But I mean, I am sofa surfing. I'm a single parent.
And when you last worked, what were you doing?
Parcel company.
Right.
You see what it is as well, yeah? I say this in the camera as well, yeah? People like to judge, yeah? People like to judge from the colour of your skin, from the way you dress, yeah? From your lingo, yeah? I'm a carer. Yeah, that's what I was doing in London.
Right, so you moved up here because you'd have better housing here, and you've ended up with no housing at all and no job.
I'm a trained carer.
And you could be doing the world some
For
good.
8 years.
You could be doing the world some
I've
good.
got 8 years experience. It's... Man, I'm crumbling.
I mean, it's everything wrong with Britain in one person, isn't it? What do you think?
We came here a week before the 2015 election, when Britain was at a real fork in the road. The Tories were not only promising a referendum on the EU, but whipping up the sort of resentments that have led us to where we are.
Place you get a sort of politics of low-level grievance, which tends to be aimed at particular groups of people. Probably guess who they are. Benefit claimants, immigrants.
These people are not starving. They're never going to starve. They'll probably buy cigarettes and then they go to the food bank. I've got there's no excuse in this country to be hungry, I don't think.
Their benefits are so high, they don't want to go to work. I mean,
Get all these immigrants in. I'm not anti-immigrant, but what they don't improve is the infrastructure. Schools, doctors.
So I mean, let's face it, Scotland have so much for free, and yet they're all on the back of our taxes.
I'm only laughing at the absurdity of it all. Something very, very serious is bubbling away under it all. You can really feel the UK starting to pull apart like never before. Well, it's a wet Monday afternoon. This is a Tory-held seat, and yet people are gathering in Macclesfield in Cheshire.
very phlegmatic town, and it lets an awful lot go by, so the fact that 100 people have come out is pretty something.
We have to show that we're against it.
If you're focusing on my T-shirt, it means I've got Parkinson's. Yeah, if there's ever any problems with the supply of drugs, bye-bye.
God, this is very real for you.
This is very real for both of us.
I'm frightened.
I must confess, Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised by my right honourable learned friend's astonishment, because I've been making the case for WTO rules for some time.
There's no sense of the gravity at the moment. It's just all a game. This is what happens when you put public schoolboys in charge. It's just all knockabout and bon mots and quips and all that. And there's no sense that, you know, there are people who are really, really worried that their Parkinson's medications are going to be available, or there's going to be food shortages. This is all being talked about as sort of Aristo knockabout. It's sickening. That's what it is. So in the midst of all this noise about Brexit and parliamentary motions and all that, we've had a call from Charlie, who's a fellow we met about 6 months ago.
He was struggling to make ends meet on universal credit and angry at the mess the government had made of both the benefits system and Brexit, which he voted for.
Right, how are you doing?
I'm all right, John.
Nice to see you again.
Thanks for coming.
Tell me why you got back in touch with us.
I went for a job, and it was advertised as full-time, 40 hours, and it was an agency. I did 2 weeks, then I just kept getting texts off him.
Hi, Charlie. Just to let you know, no work tomorrow morning.
So you're thinking you're clocking on at what, 8 o'clock
8
the
o'clock.
following morning, and at midnight, you
Yeah.
get a message saying, "Hi, mate, don't go work in morning, please." And that means you're not getting paid, right?
Yeah.
And then there's quite a few of these below that, right? Orders have dropped. I'm having to cancel a few people tonight. Keep going. Is there work today? That's you. No, there isn't today, mate. Next one. Hi, mate.
Please don't go in work tomorrow. I'll ring you sometime during the day, but I didn't get a phone call.
But how can you even budget through the week?
Can't budget during the week. I've got potatoes and carrots. Instead of buying bottles of milk, you can make up to about 10, 11 pints with that. I'm not a baker, but I've got this mincemeat, and I keep getting... I'll split that packet into 4. Now, I know it's not a meal, but when you're hungry, all I'm doing now, and I don't want to be a martyr, I'm just eating to stay alive. I didn't go out of the house for 3 weeks, no appointments on my phone, so I stopped in the house. Because if you're moving about, it burns what you've eaten in the morning, it burns it off.
Christ. And how much do you owe your landlord?
2,475.
And he is threatening you with eviction by
Well,
when?
I've got the eviction order.
You are required to leave the below address after the 4th of October 2019.
How do you feel about a system that
feel-
instructs you to take a job? You take
feel-
a job
I
and you end
feel-
up in an even worse position than you were in to start with.
I'm not a suicidal person, but I can understand where people, I mean, I've not got mental health issues yet. I do worry where it's all going, but...
Brexit later today. Then a government official has confirmed...
How do you feel about the state of the country and politics?
State of country. I think somebody's going to get killed.
You think things are sort of spinning out of control?
They are spinning. Everybody needs to have half an hour reflecting what they say.
But you want Brexit to happen?
Well, I wanted to leave. The leave what I wanted has been twisted.
If there was a ballot paper in front of you now with leave or remain, which one would you?
I just pick remain.
Would you?
Just for all this to stop.
When you voted to leave, what was your hope for the country?
I wanted us to be fairer. We can make our own laws and thingy. Should be occurring. Like you two come up today. I know you're going round other, but you've taken interest in me. And that's made it's made my day.
party will not forget what the Tories have done for us over the last 10 years. The cuts in the tax credits and the welfare benefits that have hit the lowest...
It always brings home to me the misery of the autumn being here. A conference venue.
The millions that are in food banks, the millions that are homeless on our streets, all the degradation that he's caused, the racism he's caused.
All these difficulties that people have experienced, a lot of it has been blamed on immigrants. I've been called the C word and told to go back to my effing country. I've sort of spent the best years of my life working for NHS in this country. I was actually asked to stay after I finished my PhD. Just before the Brexit, I felt for the first time ever, and I had been here almost 20 years, that I didn't want to speak. I didn't want people to pick up that I had an accent.
You're going to be able to stay? Do you know that, if there's a no-deal Brexit?
I don't know whether I want to stay, that's amazing.
Wow.
Of course. Well, are you surprised?
I'm not surprised.
I've lost all my sense of security
But God, what a
and sense of belonging. I love this country so much, and I felt so welcome and so appreciated, and I don't anymore, at all.
Oh yes, Tories are, definitely.
Some people would have you believe that conservatism under Cameron and Osborne was very different from the 2019 version. But the seeds of where the Tories and Britain have ended up were planted when they were in charge.
Britain is on the right track. Capping welfare. We've cut immigration by a third. We are the party of hard-working people. And to anyone who questions that, take your arguments to Bury or Morecambe.
Yeah, we were talking about today that everyone was getting money off the government benefits and stuff.
I think we spend too much money on the benefit system.
Yeah, we do spend a lot. Like.
Why should people from other countries come to our country and be able to claim our benefits?
Someone else has got to work for you. You can fuck off and make it yourself.
It was on that bench outside Macclesfield.
I remember that.
This is where we figured out where Westminster was.
Did we? We hit town and we talk to people and we try and thereby divine what's going on.
I'm a relatively bright woman. I'm okay with this sort of stuff, and I am just confused, I think, at this point.
What's the question? You don't even know what the question is.
Come on, man, it's not a big deal.
Excuse me?
No, I'd rather not.
I wonder what you think of the state of the country at the minute. I almost get the sense that people know that people like me talking to people like them about what people think is sort of has been done, you know.
It's over, isn't it?
Oh, I get it. You want one of them things where I tell you what I think about Brexit, you know.
No one really cares anymore.
About what?
Anything. At all.
Tell me more about what kind of society you'd like to live in.
People look after each other, and it's not all about what I want, it's good for everyone.
Brilliant. Hang in there.
Will
It
do.
probably is that bad, but hang in there anyway. Hope lies with the youth. Do you have a sense of the future of Bury and of the country next sort of 5-10 years? Looking ahead, I wonder how you. I just wonder how you feel.
I won't like to say what Bury will be like in about 5 years' time.
Really?
I won't like to say. We've just lost a football club, so what else are we going to lose?
It's almost like we're living in the aftermath already, though, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like it's happened already. Like all the dysfunctional, crappy bits of English society that were just, festering tensions that were left and made worse by austerity and all that, and they sort of exploded in 2016. And I think everything else is aftermath now, isn't it?